Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a bit of a yard tour. We hit 500 subscribers I think last night, so a massive thanks to everyone. That's a big milestone in the channel, and thank you to everyone who's been watching so far. And what this video is going to be about is basically going to show you everything that's around here. There's one or two things missing at the moment, and by missing, they're gone into their winter homes. So there's two items that you won't see, but practically everything else is around here. So we'll make a start on this. Here's the first thing, is the Volvo. It's an L50B. We own this with just a little over a year now, and it's mainly used for stacking the bales in the summer. In the winter time, it's actually proved a handy enough tool for just loading trailers and stuff like that, and it makes the job a bit easier. And we actually do a nice bit, surprisingly enough, of cleaning out dung yards, and we load dung there for another man with a dung spreader that doesn't have a loader. So do a few bits and pieces of that, clean out a good few dung yards and sheds through the winter, and loading bales. So this machine is practically, its workload is nicely spread out throughout the year, and it keeps us occupied. There's 11,000 hours on it, and it's in relatively good condition. There's a few bits and pieces of work we'll be doing today this winter. I'll probably bring it down to one of our mechanics there that gives us a hand, and he'll probably be at it because it's a bit out of my depth really. So that's the first machine around the yard. Now I'll move on to the vacuum tanks. The first one here is major. This would have been our first tank we bought. I suppose we have it maybe 8 years. We hardly have it 8 years. I suppose 6 years. Yeah, I'd say we have this tank 6 years. It's probably our least favourite tank of the lot of them, mainly because the drawbar is so short. You can't get a good lock on in a tight yard or anything like that, and it's very, very bouncy on the road. It's extremely bouncy on the road. But also the way the axle is held on them, I just don't like the setup. I know the newer models are a lot more different now. They've changed them for the better, and I'd like to see what the newer ones are like. But that's that one. I suppose that tank is probably 20 years old, so it's to be expected that it's not perfect. Our next tank is a high spec. It's a 2,300 gallon. We've had this now with, I suppose, 3 years, maybe 4 years, and it's definitely our favourite tank of the three of them, mainly because it's so fast to fill. There's the Jower up pump, and they're a brilliant pump to fill, very fast to fill. It's also a lovely tank on the road. It's not too bouncy, it's not too wavy. Probably one fault with it is it would be a bit high. Its centre of gravity would be a bit higher than the others, but we haven't had it nearly over yet. So luckily enough, that tank has been brilliant for us. Probably could do with a lick of paint, but maybe in the future, you'd never know, might get that. So moving on to the last one there now is this is our slurry cat one. It's what you call it, it's our only one with low emissions trailing shoe setup on it, and it has hydraulic changeover, and it has a hydraulic up in the top there where the slurry flows out into the macerator. That's hydraulically activated as well. All three of them have wide angle PTO shafts, and this one also has a fairly big pump, but it still wouldn't be as good as the Jower pump. So that's the three tankers. This one will probably be the second best to pull out of a lot of them. When it's empty, it's a bit jumpy on the hitch, but other than that, it's A1 to pull it really, and it would be superior to the major when full. Also here is our 2900 Claas Rake. As you can see, it's no oil painting, but when the pressure is on, it's really a great asset to have. You can just really power through the rake, and it needs to be done for that day, and it's a massive help overall We have that rake now maybe 4 or 5 years, I would say. It got a bit battered there a couple of years ago, but we tidied it up, and the year after then we subsequently changed. We went to the Pottinger. We just had a lot of reliability issues after that, so it was time to change. So that's there as a kind of a backup, and that's a brilliant backup, I must say. It's very handy to have, and that's kind of this side of the yard really. Behind me here is a tether that's in need of repair. Just needs the whole wheel section is held in with 2 roll pins, and a roll pin broke and it fell off, so it's just a roll pin really it needs. And the agitator is there behind that, which is a Connor. Look, I like the agitator, it's good to mix and all that, but it's a bit of a pain to take it on and off, and a bit of a pain to go on the road with the drive shaft on. So next time will we go for a Connor? I don't know, I don't really think so, but time will tell. In here, in front of us here is the newest bale trailer. We made this one there in the springtime. It's a 29-foot trailer, so it's carrying 19 bales. We went a foot longer for the winter time with the racks. If the bales are sagged, you know, and they're sitting out, you have a bit more scope to fit them into the trailer, so that's why we went a foot longer. It doesn't have drawbar suspension, but it does have axle suspension, and overall we're fairly happy with this trailer now. It turned out very well. Here you can see the TVT. You've all seen this one working, seen it in action, and it's another tractor we're very happy with. No real massive issues with it. Plenty of power for the triple mowers, which is kind of why it was bought really. Well, I suppose subsequently at the start we were running a trailed with a swarter. We weren't grouping much, and we bought another trailed, and we were using the 2 of those, but it was just a bit of madness really. 2 people running around doing mowing, which is something I don't really like. I think it's a waste of resources. I mean, you don't need 2 people to do the job of 1 person, or in some occasions 3 people to do the job of 1 person. So we were moving up to a front mower and a trail mower. That was our original plan, and the TM was going to drive them. So in the fall of that year we bought a front mower, and we had our trail mower, and we said we'll work away with that system. And a set of Claas butterflies came up for very reasonable money that you couldn't turn away the opportunity, even just to see how it would work with your system. So that's how it came about that we had triples. It wasn't really for necessity, it was just we came into them really handy, and we said we'd try them out, and very happy that we did. And that's been working away well, and subsequently there's a bit of an update will be coming with the triples in the near future, hopefully. So I'll just see what hours are up in this tractor, because I can't really remember. I think there's somewhere in the region of 9.5, 9.7. It brings up, counts down the hours there to a big service and a small service. And between every one of them I always forget to service them, so not to service them but to reset the light. So we'll see how many hours we have there now, and we have 9.5. I think we bought this tractor with, I would say we bought it with 8.2, 8.3 maybe, so 600 hours a year kind of is its workload. Moving on to what else is around here. We're moving through it nicely enough, in fairness. That's a land leveler. It's one we made ourselves a couple of years ago. It's got fairly intensive use in the last 2 years, so I think we'll probably make something a bit heavier duty this winter, hopefully, if we get enough time to do that. And it will this will probably be retired to giving it to loan to people and stuff like that. So on to bale grabs. This was our first bale grab. It was a scissors grab. We don't really use it anymore for handling bales in the summer, but it's very handy in the winter for drawing bales and stuff if you can spike them. So that's kind of what that's there for, and obviously drawing hay in the summertime as well. Here's the elephant trunk that you've seen. I still haven't got around to painting it. I still haven't changed the pin, which are two jobs that need doing, but will be done in due course. There's just a shear grab I was repairing there earlier on for a local farmer. And here is the mulcher that you've all seen as well. Probably one of the next machines to get ready to go to its winter home. We'll clean it off, check, do a bit of maintenance on it, and just wash it down and spray it with an oil and diesel mixture and take it off to its home. So that's her. As far as I'm aware, it's the only one of these in Southern Ireland. I do know there was one in Northern Ireland, but as far as I'm aware, it's the only one in Southern Ireland. So that's a kind of an interesting fact for you. Seen plenty of the mowers already. Here's the CVX. Obviously you've seen plenty of that. The saw blade is still on it there. I haven't been hedge cutting in the last, I suppose, 10 days maybe. We've just had other work to catch up on, and obviously the CVX took up a bit of time as well. This is the only trailer we didn't make. This was a bought trailer. We changed it for a shorter trailer, I think. The man that had it was too big for him. He wanted a smaller trailer, so we done a deal for the longer trailer because we had a shorter trailer, two shorter trailers at the time. So I occasionally see that first one we made on Dundee. I've seen it a couple of times up now. Funny enough how stuff will travel. You could see it a fair old distance away from home. But that's her anyway. She has drawbar suspension, but she has no axle suspension, and she is 27 foot, I think, and she will carry 18 bales. She has a rack in the front, but she doesn't have any on the back. This isn't my pike. This is only a pike I have the loan of, kindly, for when we were doing a good bit of sawing there inside in fields. We were just tidying up with that, so that's how we had that pike. There's the disc harrow. You've seen that already. You've seen it in action. It's probably another machine that'll be getting tidied up very shortly now and away to its winter housing. We're badly stuck for shed space here where we are, so thankfully a couple of farmers we do the work for have spare sheds, and we're able to tuck them in there over the winter. So she'll be cleaned down and she'll be sent off for the winter somewhere nice and dry. And over there is a roller, which is quite a large roller. It's one of the largest rollers I've ever seen anyway around here. The time I was in New Zealand I saw a couple of massive rollers, but this is the biggest one I've seen here. It needs a bit of work. We're trying to come up with ideas to make a frame for carrying it on the road, but obviously because of the size of it, you need to be careful lifting that whole barrel off the ground, because you'd bend the shaft going through it. So that's another job that's up and coming, and something to keep us occupied coming into the winter months, which are already here and are moving away from us fairly rapidly. You know how many hours are on that? I think there's somewhere in the region of 13,000. This is the TM, the Old Faithful. We have this 4 years, I would say. What we sold to buy this was a John Deere 3040, and this originally was baling. Spent a year on a Fusion, and before that we had a welder baler, and it was on that. So get up how many hours we have here now. Can't exactly remember, so don't be driving at it very often. So that's 14,000. I'm fairly sure. I think it was below 10 when we bought it. So yeah, I think that's the hours in her. They're actually a very good tractor to wear, I suppose would be the correct word. They don't really show their hours, and they really hold the test of time, and they really hold their value as well. And a good enough tractor too, in fairness. I wouldn't rave about its brilliance. A very torquey engine. They have their faults, they have their good points, like absolutely every other make out there, but I wouldn't say they're the best thing ever made, but I wouldn't cut them either by any means. Heavy on fuel, loads of power, not the best thing in the world for traction, and also the 3-point linkage just kind of annoys me really. You know, it's always very handy to put the pin in under the lift arm. A lot of you probably have that trick, and you can't do that in the TM. And its lift arms are a bit longer than everything else, so you have different shafts or different lengths and stuff like that. So it's just a bit annoying, really. But other than that, a very good tractor. Here's the first bale trailer we made. It's I suppose it's 6-7 years old now. Or maybe a bit more. It's really showing its age. Could probably do with a bit of a restoration, but it's rarely used anymore because it's 22 foot and it only carries 14 bales. And when we started out, we thought we were on top of the world with carrying 14 bales, and now we're carrying 19 and thinking of going bigger again. So it's amazing how things change in a very short space of time. That was, like I said, that was the king of the hill the time we made it, in our eyes anyway. Probably no one else's eyes, but who really cares. This trailer was made 4 years ago, I would say. This is a 17 bale trailer. This is a lovely trailer to pull. This has drawbar suspension, it has axle suspension. The axles are in a lovely position. You'd go in anywhere with that trailer. You'd go in somewhere, like, I mean, look, the fronts of them there now are, I suppose she's maybe sticking out 2 foot longer than that one. And the axles are in that much different in the axle positioning of them. You've all seen that by now. It's the double elephant grab. We made that ourselves last year. Around the time we got the Volvo, we made it. The solenoid gizmo on top is for opening one and closing the other independently, and that came off a bin lorry. Very happy with that. Of all the things we made, that's probably the best thing. So that's about what's around the yard. All else is around there is the Fusion, and you've all seen that plenty of times. So that kind of concludes our yard tour, really. The 6290, he's just gone with that with a fertilizer spreader. He's putting that away for the winter. So that's about it. Thanks everyone who's been watching so far. It's brilliant the way it's growing. I'm delighted with the progress. I'm delighted with the feedback and getting the nice comments there saying great job and all that. So very happy with all that. And I'm happy that people are enjoying what's been put up there as well. So please keep the feedback coming, keep commenting and keep liking, and anyone who hasn't subscribed, please subscribe to it, because this is only getting going now. We're at 500, you know, it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. The more I do, the better I'll be getting at it. Obviously the more that's coming back from YouTube, the more I'll be putting into YouTube. So like I say, I'm very happy with the progress so far. I think we're only at this since the end of July, early August, so brilliant progress. So thanks lads, and we'll see you there for the next video.